Hey friends, it's Private Club Radio live time here, 10 a.m. Eastern, and what is it, 7 a.m. Pacific, but we've got a special guest today joining us all the way from Dubai, so I think it's like evening over there. It's 6, 7 o'clock in the evening, something like that. We'll ask him when he comes on, but Mr. Chris May, the CEO of Dubai Golf, will be joining us today and talking about all about the Middle East region and the fantastic things they've got happening at Dubai Golf. It's really exciting, I've got to tell you. So I'm so happy he had the time to come on here today to join us for a little bit of live Q&A. So if you do have some questions, get them ready because Chris will be here to answer all of yours. Just a couple announcements before we bring Chris on. Want to thank our sponsors as always, Concert Golf Partners, who bring capital and strategy to private clubs all over the country. You hear Peter Nanula, the CEO, on this show every month, and he's always got fantastic advice to lend. And so we thank them for their continued support of Private Club Radio. I also want to thank Restream, the platform we're using right now to go live on multiple platforms. With Restream, you can actually go live on 30 plus platforms across the web. We're able to do it for this show on YouTube, LinkedIn, and multiple places within Facebook. What makes it so nice is that you have the live interaction from the audience. I think a lot of clubs should consider this platform for their board meetings, for some of their club events and entertainment that happens throughout the year. It looks like 2021 will still have quite a bit of virtual things going on in the club industry, and Restream, it's such a more robust solution even than Zoom, which I love as well. But Restream is kind of that next level. If you want to learn more, go to privateclubradio.com/Restream, and you'll learn more about this platform that we're using right here. I also want to thank Capstone Hospitality and Brian Friedrichs for being a continued supporter of the show. We had Brian on last week. Again, always offers a ton of value when it comes to membership sales and marketing advice. We covered the top 3 sales mistakes that clubs made in January, and we had a really good discussion last month as well here with Brian. So check out those episodes if you missed them and learn more about what Capstone Hospitality can do for your club over at capstone-hospitality.com. All right, that is the announcements for today. We do have a few really intriguing guests coming up here over the next few weeks, but I want to turn it over here to Mr. Chris May of Dubai Golf here, who is joining us to talk about what's happening over there. Chris, welcome to Private Club Radio Live, man.
Great to join you, Gabe. It's fantastic to see you again and hear your voice again. It's been a while since you were over in this part of the world, but great to join you this morning.
Yeah, it's fantastic to have you, and you've got the open flag behind you. I've got one behind me, so we're looking like a team here today. First, I want to talk to you, Chris, about just how travel and COVID has affected Dubai and Dubai Golf. You know, Dubai obviously being a huge travel hub in the world. How has that actually affected your operations, sir?
Yeah, I mean, it's had a huge impact on us as an operation. I haven't been on an airplane now for over a year. I had my longest trip of the last 13 months. A couple of weeks ago, I went up to watch the golf tournament in Abu Dhabi, which is an hour away. And that was my longest trip away from Dubai in the last year, which is unheard of. But yeah, you know, it has had a big impact on us. The number of tourists coming through Dubai, it's a big tourist destination. The number of people coming through the airport and using the airline has dropped dramatically as it has globally. We did see a little bit of a resurgence of overseas guests coming through Dubai in December and January, but with the recent sort of close down in a lot of European countries, that the number of guests has reduced to pretty much zero. So yeah, very few overseas tourists, and so we're really reliant on the local market here, our members, and you know, despite no overseas guests, the level of demand for golf has been huge, and yeah, we've been really pleasantly surprised by the number of rounds and the demand for golf in the region.
How have you guys had to do a little shifting around, or what pivots have you made at Dubai Golf here in this new normal that we're living in right now?
Yeah, I mean, every country's been a little different over the last year. Obviously, we actually had a 35-day lockdown in Dubai, and the golf courses were closed in March and April. Coming out of that, we were restricted in terms of numbers on the golf course. We had to practice, obviously, social distancing, which we're still doing now. that had the impact of creating a huge demand in the local market for golf. We didn't have enough golf courses for the number of the demand that we had. And then slowly golf opened up and we were allowed to play in 3 balls and 4 balls. So we really had to look at refocusing our business. Normally, we're very much focused on local play anyway. Probably about 80% of our play is local play, member play, and local corporate play. The corporate business, corporate golf days business has dried up and disappeared, almost to zero. So we needed to find something to replace that. And as I touched on earlier, roughly 10 to 15% of our play is overseas play. Mainly from Europe, but again, from all over the world, from the States, from Australia, from India, China, all over the place, but mainly our main market's Europe. That dried up to pretty much be only 20% we would normally receive. So we had to be more locally focused. Sure. So we looked at some membership promotions locally. We increased our memberships, here. We were very successful in selling a huge number of memberships over the summer period. And we've sold an unprecedented number of memberships, which has enabled us to fill the golf courses up locally and replace that overseas business and corporate business. So the number of rounds played actually is 23% more across all the golf courses in Dubai in 2020 as compared to 2019, which is unbelievable.
Absolutely. Like I was telling you before we got started here today, it's hard for me to find a tee time even at my own course. I think it's a phenomenon. It's been really, in some ways, great for golf. Of course, we've got our friends over in the UK and Ireland and whatnot that are shut down of it. But for the courses that have been open, at least, it's been a really good thing.
Yeah.
You just had a huge tour event come through. The European Tour just came through. I was really impressed with the field that you guys had this year. Can we talk about the tournament and what it's like to host a big international tournament every year there?
Yeah, we've had a little bit of practice recently because we operate Jumeirah Golf Estates, Dubai Creek, and Emirates Golf Clubs. So in the past 2.5 months, we've hosted 3 European Tour events. And the month before, we had a Ladies European Tour event. So 4 tour events with all the COVID protocols, with creating bubbles for the players. We actually ran pro-ams for all the events successfully and kept everyone safe, which was quite a challenge. But yeah, look, it's definitely more difficult to host events at these times with all the various practices that you have to have in place just to keep the players safe, the spectators, if you're allowed spectators. The first couple of events, we had no spectators. But for the most recent 2, we had a limited number of spectators, just 1,000 per day at each event. But those 1,000 people that came had the most amazing VIP experience at the event, and could get up very close and personal with the players and have an opportunity that probably they'll never have again in their lives, which was very special. And I think we were lucky in some respects that. The Dubai Desert Classic is in the middle of the Desert Swing tournaments. And because there were 3 events in this part of the world very close together, a lot of the very best players thought, okay, well, let's travel once to the Middle East and play in 2 or 3 events. So back to your point with the field being very strong, I think this year we were very fortunate in that a lot of the best players did come and play 2 or 3 events. And yeah, the field that we had for this year's tournament was one of the best that I remember and one of the best in the history of the event. Obviously, Paul Casey went on to win it, which is another great winner to add to an already pretty impressive winner's roll of honor. But some amazing players. Colin Morikawa traveled over from the States. Lots of the European players based in the States came over. Ian Poulter, Henrik Stenson, Lee Westwood, Matt Fitzpatrick, Shane Lowry, they're all in the States now and will be in the States for some time to come. But to have all of those guys come and play was great. Sergio Garcia as well. And it was endless. I mean, Ernie Els, 3-time champion, came. Miguel Angel Jimenez played. So great field and another great event. I don't know if you managed to watch it on TV. The greens were not at the very best, and which is a bit of a shame for us. We normally pride ourselves on our greens, but we've made the decision to renovate the greens this summer. So we've got a 5-month renovation program to make sure that going forward, the greens are, the world-class greens that you would expect to see at Emirates Golf Club. And that's going to be an exciting project to get underway and finally have the greens that match the quality of the golf course.
Yeah, it is a fantastic golf course. I got to see it in person, a number of your properties, actually. What's it like managing multiple properties for managers who are maybe looking to take a step into some sort of organization that might have multiple properties? What's like the skill set that you would need to develop in order to do that, Christopher?
I think there's a couple of things. Firstly, whether you're in a single property or multiple properties, the important thing is having a great team of people around you, because you're only as good as the team around you. And I'm very fortunate to have an amazing team at Dubai Golf and some really competent individuals who, I know that they would make the right decisions or decisions that I would make. And so we've got a very consistent way of operating the clubs. And that's key. Looking after members and guests when they come to play at our clubs is really, really important and something that we take really seriously. One of the things that you need to realize pretty quickly is you cannot be at every golf club all the time, every day. Right. It's physically impossible. There's only one of me so managing those expectations of yourself and perhaps members around you that perhaps might not see you as much as perhaps they used to when you were based at a single club and now you're looking after 2 or 3 properties, is something that is something that you need to get used to. But I would say the biggest thing is having a great team of people around you, because without that, managing multiple properties is impossible.
Right. Yeah. I got to say, I was impressed. You drove me around a little bit there in Dubai, and we went into some of the properties, and you had such a keen eye for detail. Why do those details matter to you?
They're really, really important. Whatever job you've got at the golf club, we have a service culture that we've developed over the last 6 years where we feel it's really important that every single person can make a difference. And I don't care what job you have in the operation, whether it's, the head of marketing, the head of the golf course maintenance team, or you're working, in the kitchen, or you're back of house in the accounts team. Every engagement that you have with a colleague or a guest, you can make a difference by the way in which you meet or greet them. And you can make a difference about the way in which you behave. The way, it's simple things, something that I've always done because I've been lucky to work for some great people before, that people laugh at me sometimes when I pick up rubbish all the time. It's just something that I do because general managers before me have done it. And I thought, wow, that's pretty cool, because if he picks it up or she picks it up, then anyone in the operation should be doing the same thing as well. So I think those small attention to detail things ultimately add up to making a really big difference of the overall experience. And if everyone buys into that service culture that you can create in your club, then you're really onto a sort of winning formula of getting really consistent service to be delivered every single day, which is what we all want to try and do, to make sure that when members or guests come to our clubs, they have unbelievable experiences that are memorable, and they want to come back again, and they want to tell their friends to be members to come to our clubs as well.
Absolutely. Consistency is so critical to an operation of like that size. But even for smaller clubs, I think that, the difference is just those little things, like you said. It's the little touches. It's the attention to detail that really elevates that experience. So I think you guys do it certainly one of the best I've ever come across. Now let's talk about your structure and your governance. Most managers have to report to a board of directors, and they've got committees and things. You actually technically have to report to a royal family. So let us know about the structure of Dubai Golf, how that works, and how you have to have who you've got to answer to at the end of the day.
Yeah, no, technically you're right, Gabe. We're owned by the government of Dubai, and our chairman is the son of the ruler, the Crown Prince, Sheikh Hamdan. So we're very fortunate to have the backing of the government, and I would say the government in Dubai is very kind of different to a lot of governments around the world. They're very supportive in looking at new opportunities and investing in our facilities and in our people. But back to the reporting, yes, we do report ultimately to the Crown Prince, but I have a board that I report to, and that board, the head of that board, reports into the Crown Prince. So ultimately, the Crown Prince will know how Dubai Golf is doing, but it's a pretty small part of what he's looking at overall. But I'm very lucky with the board that I directly report into, because we have some very senior bankers and finance people on that board, some really people with some good golf experience and knowledge of the hospitality industry. And it's very important with any board that you educate your board correctly and well, so that they understand your business, so that they understand the decisions that you want to make and why you want to make them. So yeah, my board is perhaps a little different than some others, but ultimately they fulfill the same role.
Right.
And it's basically about educating and keeping people informed as to what you need to do and what perhaps road bumps are coming up in the future, and when you've done well, to make sure they know that you've done well, and where you've been challenged. They also need to know that too.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I just imagine you, Chris, every quarter you've got to walk into the palace and get all the decked out and go deliver this, the scroll to the prince or something.
No. It's not quite that.
Not quite that Hollywood fantasy.
No.
That's funny. All right, I'm going to show you something, because it's gonna lead into. I don't know if you've noticed this. So when I was in Dubai, you gave me this book here. That's maybe out of focus. Let's see if we can get it in focus.
I can see it.
Yeah. All right. So
the Desert Miracle.
The Desert Miracle. I keep it behind me as a reminder of that trip, and just the incredible work that went into it to have a vision like they had there in the desert, and to shape a property like this. You guys are now kind of moving into, I don't know what phase it would be, but it's, to me, almost phase 2, right? So you're continuing to innovate at all times and in all ways there. And I would just love for you to talk about some of the ways that you innovate there at Dubai Golf. And of course, I want to talk about Topgolf in particular, and why you decided to bring Topgolf experience right into your club there.
Yeah, no, okay. Well, going back to the very start, and to use your book as a good starting point, Emirates Golf Club was built back in 1988. That was the first green grass golf course in the Middle East region, and it was built at the time by the ruler of Dubai, Sheikh Mohammed. It was his vision and his foresight to build the club in the location that it was built, which was in the middle of nowhere at the time. 1 square kilometer block, built in the middle of the desert, 20 miles outside of the city of Dubai. He had the foresight of what Dubai was going to become, and right now we sit in 2021, and Emirates Golf Club is in the middle of the city, and the city has just grown out and surrounded Emirates Golf Club, and we're now surrounded by skyscrapers and the marina and Burj Al Arab and all these amazing buildings that you see in Dubai. So that transformation has been nothing short of amazing. I have been part of the operation here since '99, so I wasn't here at the very beginning. But the golf club at Emirates Golf Club, and specifically the tournament in the Desert Classic, have been really important in promoting Dubai as a global destination for golf and as a tourist destination. And as a result, other golf courses have followed, and tourism has become pretty important, as has, living on a golf course. Many of the golf courses here now have residential communities around them, very much like the ones that you would see in the United States. And we now have 11 golf courses in Dubai. We have 20 golf courses in the region. We have a large number of professional tournaments hosted in the region. And, it really is a great golfing destination now. But, those things don't happen unless you take some risks and you look at doing things a little differently. And, our company has always looked at doing things a little differently. And, if you go back 10 years ago, we put floodlights in on the 18-hole championship golf course at Emirates Golf Club, the Faldo golf course. And that really transformed the game a little bit in terms of giving people the opportunity to play at night. With the climate in this part of the region, in this part of the world, it works really well playing at night in the summer when it's over 100 degrees Fahrenheit and humid as well. So, summertime golf at night is actually, a great option. And, then more recently, we opened Topgolf at the beginning of this year on January the 3rd. And, why did we build Topgolf in a golf course, which is pretty unusual? One of the main reasons,
I think, right, Chris?
First time in the world. Actually, first golf course in the world to actually have a Topgolf within the venue. It works really well for us in Dubai. The location is fantastic. The outlook from the bays is stunning. You're looking out at the skyline of Dubai. It's really, a real Instagram moment, and we've done very well on Instagram. Nice. With images taken by everyone that's using the facilities there. But that facility, similar to the experience of Topgolf in the US, brings in lots of non-golfers. And Dubai has not been, has experienced a very similar experience from Topgolfs in US. The number of Emiratis, the number of non-golfers that have been drawn to Topgolf and enjoying playing golf for the first time is extraordinary. The demand for Topgolf has been off the charts. We've had first 3 weeks we had, I think, almost 15,000 guests come through. We had in the first 2 weeks 150,000 golf balls hit, and we're now experiencing 6-hour wait lists on the weekends.
Wow.
And it's full. It's full every night.
For a country that's not a golfing country, I should say.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. So it says a lot about the Topgolf brand, bringing people into the game. I would say one thing is right at this moment in time, we're operating at 50% capacity due to COVID distancing regulations. So we're operating every other bay, which probably is impacting the wait time. Without a doubt. So the wait time probably would go down to about 4 hours on the weekends if we were able to operate at full capacity. Hopefully next month we're able to operate at a slightly more increased capacity level. But those innovations, night golf, Topgolf, all about attracting new people into our game. Right. And we hope that they might in the future become future members. But if they just come and play games, every now and again, then on the par 3 course or the night golf course, or they buy equipment or have lessons, then that's bringing revenue into our game and hopefully growing the game for the future, which is really important for all of us to do.
Well, it's so nice because it's a chance to get families involved, to actually have a family experience, which you don't normally. I guess it's not too normal to start off on a golf course with your young children and wife. So I think that's fantastic. Do you actually have a plan to, go to maybe market or somehow, speak about the membership opportunities at Dubai Golf to some of your guests at Topgolf?
Yeah, we just started that. We started the Golf Academy in the past 2 weeks. We've already got 60 kids in the academy programs at Topgolf, nice. Which is amazing. And the idea, we're very lucky at Emirates Golf Club. Topgolf is located right next to our par 3 golf course. So it's a relatively easy transition from the Topgolf bays to the green grass fairways of the par 3 course. Right. And so the idea is that the academy progression will be to take people onto, or in particular the kids, onto the par 3 course, give them a taste of golf, and then, you know, who knows, they might well graduate up into the full academy programs in the golf course as well. But that's been really exciting to see, you know, the number of kids that have been attracted to golf, the number of women been attracted to come and play Topgolf. We've got our first yoga classes in Topgolf this weekend.
Nice.
So again, it's just bringing a different demographic, different age groups, different than our normal golf courses bring in. So it's been great to see.
Now, I'm going to take a question here from the audience. Christopher Gerhardt's asked, do you have spas? But the way I'll frame this for you, Chris, is you guys have put in a number of different amenities, all in hopes of really making Dubai Golf a destination, not just golf only. So can you talk to that and why that's so important for you guys and your strategy?
Yeah. I mean, it's very important to have, we really want to have the full offering that really attracts all families. And the more offerings that we have, and I'll go through a couple of the options that we have. We actually have 2 spas at Emirates Golf Club, 2 different operators. We've brought some third-party operators in to run the spas. We're not experts in spas. Sensasia is one of the best operators in this part of the world. They operate one of our spas, and that has enhanced our offering. Their reputation has enhanced what we do. We have installed paddle tennis courts, which I think are relatively new in the States, but I think it's similar to a game that you might be familiar with, pickleball in the States. But paddle tennis is one of the fastest growing sports on the planet at the moment. We have 4 courts at Emirates. We have 4 courts at Dubai Creek. We've just built another 2 this year. We're building 2 more courts at Jumeirah Golf Estates. We're building 8 more courts at Emirates Golf Club this year. It's booming. You cannot get a paddle tennis court in Dubai at the moment. And we built the first ones in Dubai 7 years ago. Nice. So being at the forefront of that growth is really important. When we look at our gyms, we just renovated our gym and put new equipment in. It's always important to keep up with the latest trends. But linked to our gym, we've got a spa, we've got a health food bar, which again, we've franchised that out because we brought one of the best operators in Dubai to run that for us. And we also have the leading physiotherapy company in Dubai up and running to manage the physio, which is right in the gym. So you can come in and have your physio treatments in the gym with world leading experts. So having all of that in one location is really important. I just want to touch on our food and beverage as well. So I think it's quite important to say that our clubs in Dubai may be a little different than some of the very private clubs in the States. We are semi-private. So on weekends, it's members only. But during the week, we're in a tourist destination and we do take guest play. And you can come in and use our restaurants. If you're a member, you can come and use the gym, you can come and use the golf courses, you can bring guests. But our restaurants are open to the general public. And as a result, our restaurants need to be pretty good because they're not just for member usage. They need to attract the wider population from Dubai. So we partnered with a couple of really, really good operators. And we're very proud to say that a couple of the restaurants that we run are amongst the best in town. They're still run by us.
I can attest to that, by the way. Incredible.
Yeah, I mean, we're very lucky, but we partner with good people. We still have control of the restaurants. We're managing the restaurants. All the staff in the restaurant are all our colleagues, but we now have a food offering that is amazing. And as a manager, I'm very, very proud to have the offering that we have because for a golf operation, it's world class. And if you have world class offerings, then selling memberships should be pretty easy.
Right.
And those world class facilities bring expectations, and people have high expectations, which is fine. And it's up to the team to deliver and exceed those expectations each and every visit. But I would really encourage any operator to look, or any club to really look at your breadth of offerings and what can you do differently? What could we have in this part of the club or that part of the club to do things a little bit differently that might attract, another membership sale or, another group of people or demographic in the local population.
It's so many good lessons there. I mean, I think, the being stagnant and not having that future forward looking focus is really the detriment of a lot of clubs. And I love what you guys are bringing to the table there, continuing to innovate, continuing to look outside of the industry and then bring it back into what you're doing there at Dubai Golf. It's absolutely fantastic. We've gone already a half an hour here, Chris. I could go on for an hour.
Seriously?
I'm going to let, I know it goes quick. I'm going to let you go, though, but I absolutely recommend folks check out DubaiGolf.com. Take a look at what they're doing, what Chris and his team are doing over there. Absolutely fantastic. I cannot wait to get back there. So, Chris, thank you so much for joining us here on Private Club Radio Live, sir. Appreciate it.
Gabe, you're most welcome. We look forward to welcoming you back very soon. Thanks very much.